Good morning. What's another video of mine without fighting dogs? So today, hopefully everything's gonna go smoothly. We have this whole setup here. I got thread locker, so we can get some thread locker going. I got clutch bolts in the mail that didn't come with any lube, so gotta put some thread locker on these, bolt the clutch down, throw the transmission on, and then it's time to start fishing it in. I measured with some wire like approximately where the trans mount's gonna have to go, but it's gonna be kind of rough because I have to like make everything custom. So I gotta just put it in there, jack it up to where it's going to sit, and then I can figure out how the mount's gonna have to look. So for now, let's start Loctiting and throwing this transmission on for the first time, dude.
Compliments of the chef.
Alright, transmission is on. Starter is on. Everything should be correct here. So the next step is to throw it in here. I have it angled now, so hopefully I can just like lift it up, swing it, and not have to have the car sticking out because it's cold as shit. So, another time lapse, but this is probably going to take a little bit longer because I've never put the engine and transmission in together. So, let's cross our fingers, dude. Let's hope this shit works. Okay, so got hot, got a little fucking jumper Caprice, but engine is in, intake is on. The intake took a little bit, I mean like a little bit of finessing to get in there. I sanded the end of this with the fucking DA and then hit this dent in a little bit just on the side where it doesn't hit. So all this shit still functions if that's still in line. There is not hockey pucks in this. Hockey pucks are right here. Shocking. With the transmission, it kind of like makes everything work. Who would have thought the mounts worked without hockey pucks? I mean, they fucking sell it, so should have known. But I got little washers on there to get it away from the steering rack because the steering rack was still a little close to the oil pan or vice versa. But now the intake is on. It's threaded on there. The transmission is still held up with a jack. So the next plan is to figure out how to get the transmission to stay where it's at, because that's kind of ideal. The pitch of it side to side and up and down is crucial. So need to figure out how to measure that and get underneath the car. So give me a minute. Okay, so we kind of got something figured out. We're gonna use plates to bolt to the floor of the car, so it'll make it to where I don't have to weld anything to the body. So I cut some plates. We're gonna drill some holes. Drilling holes here takes fucking ages. I have shitty tools. So gonna drill some holes and then mock everything up, drill the holes in the floor of the car, be able to bolt it, and then we can align the bar that we're gonna use underneath the bolts on where like the factory trans mount would bolt up to. Then we can start making the box and the bushing and all that shit. So it's gotta drill some holes, stand by. I'm not gonna show you that because that's fucking boring. So bye. Progress was made. Put the camera down to actually grind out and be able to get shit done. But the engine is in here, solid. It is fully in. Come down here. We have a transmission in there. We got a trans in the car now, and we got a mount on it. Mount is a little bit on the dog shit side, but I pretty much had to make it underneath the car. So the plan is that mount is good enough to, it has the drive shaft in an angle where it's not really gonna like matter a whole lot for measuring the drive shaft. So that's in here. I can work on shit, play shit, get everything all figured out, measure for a drive shaft, get that coming, blah blah blah. Eventually, I'll have this car on a lift before it drives. And then when it's on a lift, I'll be able to make like a fucking good trans mount with a bushing in it. Because that was a little bit of a tall task for what I have available here and the car being on the ground. So, some people may have done it before, but psh, your boy's big, so fuck that. That kind of does it for today. Tomorrow, we're going to get into some of the shit that we got laying on here. And then hopefully we can have a good look of what everything's going to look like. So tomorrow is no. Look at how good they are when they think something's going on for them. Good morning. Got the jumper on again, the hood on, gloves on. Dude, it's fucking freezing outside. It's fucking, what is the date? October 28th, ooh, 11/11. So you gotta make a wish on 11/11, dude. You can't fuck around with that shit. So check it out. 11/11. Let's say you open your phone up, boom, 11/11. Close your eyes, make a wish. When you open your eyes and it's still 11/11, that's coming true, bro. That's coming true. Let's check it out. Right now it's 39. And I waited to come out here because it was 35 when I woke up. So, it's fucked up out here. I have this, so that's cool. But the garage doesn't seal well. See that? That's fucking down bad. That's fucking down bad. So, that's something we're gonna work on for the future, but that's not what we're working on today. Today, first job requires this. So for this, we need to measure the length of what the drive shaft needs to be. So we're going to go from the end of the transmission, like the tail shaft where the drive shaft will slide in, all the way to the diff flange, and then that measurement will be the measurement we give to the drive shaft place, and then they can shorten this drive shaft and then put a Z end on it. So I'm going to slide under there, measure up, see if you could see it. If not, then you don't get to see it, but let's get some measurements. Okay, so dogs are fucking fighting. So we got underneath there, we measured the drive shaft length. It's fucking tight, so I didn't bring the camera. It took 4 seconds. 41 inches. So this drive shaft is fucking way too long. So wrote down the 41 inches. We're gonna throw this in the back of the fucking BMW or truck, whatever, whenever it comes time to get it shortened. Go there, drop this off, tell them, hey, I need this shortened to 41 inches. I'll bring the new yoke, this is called a yoke, with me, and then they'll cut it to length to where when this slides in and the drive shaft is bolted up, it will be a good length. So drive shaft is technically out of my hands at this point. I still have it, but everything's done. Now the next thing is I put the starter in yesterday before the engine went in, which is okay because I thought it needed to, but it didn't. So it can come in and out pretty easy without the headers on. And the thing is, I forgot the little spacer thing that's supposed to go on there. I thought I put it on there, but the second I moved it, there was a different spacer. There's a ring spacer that goes where the gear goes in and out to engage on the flywheel, and then there's an actual spacer like this. So this guy has to go on there, as well as the starter blanket. So the exhaust on the car will run pretty close to it. As you can see, the headers come right off, and then the starter's right there. So they supplied a starter blanket, so we're gonna put the starter blanket on there. So post you up, we're gonna unbolt this starter, put that spacer on there, and see how the blanket fits. So check. Okay, so got the starter shit done. It's kind of a weird place. There's really nowhere to put the camera. All I did was take it off. I put a tiny little spacer in there, and that was it. That's it. So I'm gonna take the intake off, because while I was doing that, I noticed that smashed my harness a little bit. So I gotta fucking take the intake off. Then I'll put the new gaskets on it, so it works out. And then I'll figure out what I gotta fix on that because that's boo-booed. So taking this up.
808 Mafia.
Go and be like 808, on this beat with 808. I'm off of them M&M's. Perkins said I can't see straight. She do white like Eminem. Slim Shady, money in the bank. Don't let me gang, I pull up in the tank. Dick in the mouth, I've been fucking the face. I move fast.
So what I'm doing here is I don't have any more hot glue in this. So I found a little piece of hot glue. I'm gonna heat up. I'm gonna put this over this wire. Baby girl, patience, smoking on this loud. Oh, I love the fragrance, smoking on this loud. Can't hear what you say. Money, I'ma make. Hearts, I'ma break. Attention, I'ma take. Do you hear what I'm saying? Money, I'ma make. Hearts, I'ma break. So now that's covered, and then we'll still wrap this in tape. Take this roll of tape and we're going to patch it and make it just a wee bit thicker in this area because of where the engine's at, and we don't really want it to happen again. So we'll just be extra safe. So I think that's going to be the new spot for the harness. Instead of down here, it'll be up here. Alright, so we got intake off, fixed that wire. Everything's all nice and organized for the most part. There's a couple engine grounds that I got grounded up back there, so that's good. When the harness goes back on, there's some grounds that are going to go there as well. That line is for the slave cylinder, and this line is for the slave cylinder, or like this. So as you can see, if we just that'll work. You got to get the exhaust to go straight through that as well. But for now, we're gonna clean up these mating surfaces a little bit for the intake. Throw some new gaskets on it, which are these guys right here. Haven't even just broke this seal, so dude, nice, and they clip on, dude. GM shit's pretty cool. I can't complain. Makes it pretty easy. What the fuck is that? I don't know what that is, but we got parts. So we'll pop these boys off, pop these on, throw the intake back on, loose, set it, and then we're good to go. Okay, we have the intake on, bolted. It's not all the way bolted down, just hand tight, but pretty much everything is fucking on here. Sick. That's where that goes. But yeah, so everything's on here. Got new gasket, got the paper towels out of the intake holes, vacuumed that out. Those grounds are on there. So we're making some good progress. This little fucking line is on there. These are the fuel lines. I just have to go to Harbor Freight and get the little fucking fuel line disconnector tool thing that slides in there and disconnects that. Because I think I might end up using the same kind of style connector, but I don't really know. But yeah, everything is like in here, starting to look pretty sick. I'm excited about that. The car's really dirty. I'm kind of not liking that. Oh shit, and I forgot. This fender was split in half. I might have talked about this already. I can't fucking remember. But this fender was split in half. I put it back together, bonded it. This whole corner was gone, so I made a new corner. But where it mounts, it kind of like is hella far away from the thing, but I put the crack back exactly where it was supposed to go. So I don't know if I like boomed the headlight cover or something, but I might take the front bumper down to see where everything lines up, but we'll see. So yeah, dude, hella hype. Intake's on. Truck engine is in, trans is in, temporary trans mount is made. So for now, I'm going to go underneath the car with a drill and do my hole technique to figure out where I have to cut a hole in my new shifter or trans tunnel cover thing. So slide underneath there, drill a hole, and see, because this is a big deal. This is a big fucking deal. The transmission and engine in this has a completely different length, so the shifter might be in a bad spot. So this could be, I have to order a completely different shifter than what I was planning and have like a linkage set up, or this could work perfect. So a lot of shit's riding on this. All right, the holes are drilled. Fuck up my nice paint. Sitting in the car, shifter holes gonna be right here. That is fucking dude. That's gonna work out just nicely. I'm happy with that. Nice little area. You can see boop, 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 and boop right here. Like this is just like if I was to be driving shifter, that's like exactly where it's gonna be. Pull the e-brake, downshift. My hand's already like right there. That's fucking perfect, dude. So now gotta get a grinder and cut out this little block, and so we can expose our shifter here, and then yeah, dude, progress. Oh, and side note, so like sitting in the driver's seat, that's the fucking intake right there. That's a big old boy. I fucks with that. That is cool as hell. That shit gonna be out there fucking rattling. I like that. Okay, we're about at time for me to take a little fucking lunch break. So intake's on, new gaskets are on, underneath is cleaned up. Ooh, I took out the little foam pieces so I could route harness underneath it. So intake is cleaned and better, on, installed, sick. Other stuff is on, grounds are installed. Figured out where the shifter hole is gonna be. Cut that shifter hole, grounded the edges down. We got little rounded corners here. So now we got our little shifter thing. There's enough room to get our bracket on there, and our shifter will come straight out of there like that. So that is nice. So for now, I'm gonna go eat some lunch. And while I eat lunch, I'm gonna think about what the next step is, and then I'll come back to you about right now. All right, so we're back. Plan for right now is I'm going to try to get the harness all routed and shit. It's tight back there, so hopefully that goes well. But harness is in that box. I'm gonna start busting it out, laying it out, but you're just gonna be up there watching because it's a lot of work. So check it.
Compliments of the chef.
Okay, so we're back after all that. The harness, if it is routed correctly, should be, is all connected. Everything is for the most part in there. Those grounds back there either need to be grounded to the body or the block. Can't remember, but there's a spot to ground it to the body and the block like right there. So that's exactly where that would go. Injectors all connect. Everything for the throttle body shit all is right there. I put my heat protector shit that was on the clutch line before on this harness so it could wrap around the block. This thing will just get mounted right here for the fuses and shit. And then for these wires, we have the ECU plugged in right here. ECU mount, it just has to be tightened down and it won't rattle like that. We have our OBD2 port. We have the wires and shit for our OBD2 port right here. Then we got the same wires for not needed wires. One wire to run to our tack. One wire to run, or 2 wires to run to our fans. So basically our 2 fans that we have, we'll just run the power wires to these, and then the ECU will turn the fans on when the engine reaches a certain temperature. As I'm explaining that, I'm realizing that I need to have the factory coolant temperature sensor. So if that is a coolant temperature sensor, we're good. But if the one on the back of the block is it, I don't know where the fuck the connector is, or if that's supposed to be connected to a different part of the harness, but it's right down there. So if that is a temperature sensor, then I could just run my own connector to that, and then it should work just fine. But a lot of progress. In the past 2 days, we had an empty engine bay. We have the engine in here now, a trans mount made. The harness is on, the intake is on with the new gaskets. Underneath the intake's cleaned up. We have plenty of room under the steering rack. ECU shit is nice and solid. We have a hole cut for the shifter. It's all cleaned out, looks super nice. We'll be able to fit our 6 shifter on there. I want to like show you a picture of what I'm gonna get, but at the same time I don't, because I want it to be a surprise. It's cool as fuck. So just waiting on that shit, but I'm happy with how everything turned out. We got a lot of progress done, and we're kind of to the point where it's just saving money for parts again. I need a water pump, fuel system, or like not system, but just like the lines in the pump and filter. I mean, I guess you'd consider that a system, but it's not injectors. But so I need all the fuel shit, brakes and clutches. Brakes are still connected. Hydro just needs to be ran to the back. Just basic little shit. But the big dollar thing that I need is going to be axles. I told you about how my axles were broken before, or keep breaking. Hand me down. Need the booty rug. Grab this thing. Here's fucking Ralphie. But this flashlight sucks, and so does the GoPro light. But so check it out. This axle here is a Ford piece that goes straight into the diff, right? So this is like factory. From what you could see, that's factory. Ford 8.8 shit. And then right there, from like this point forward, that's a factory Mazda piece in there. And also the shaft is kind of just like a custom like machined piece. Yes, all axles are custom machined pieces, but this axle being this side and that axle being that side, they're 2 different ones right now because of breaking an axle before. So this axle came from when I bought the wrong diff a long time ago, and it came with axle shafts. So this axle shaft goes from a Ford piece to a stock non-turbo 2 FC axle piece. The problem with that is it was a Ford axle machined down to that. It keeps breaking in that part over there. The stub isn't breaking. The shit inside of this isn't breaking. It's where it's adapted to FC parts. So the next axles I need are $3,000 or around that, after shipping probably. But that would make it to where this piece right here is replaced with a stub. It is a bolt-on axle piece. It's stronger steel. You get a different wheel bearing and like hub where the studs come out. It makes it bigger, so that's stronger, and it's the same size shaft all the way through. So we're not having a strong piece having a like weaker, smaller end on the part with the most leverage. So those axles are what we need. They'll handle a higher horsepower. That was a bug. I just got a bug in my mouth. It'll handle higher horsepower, so that means it'll be able to handle the clutch kicks and shit, which is what I need. Other than that, this is the area we need to have fuel lines. Obviously, this is the new floor that I put in, so the fuel lines will come off of here, run down there, run through the subframe, and up to the car. Down there you can see the trans mount. It is a straight across bar down there, and it bolts straight up to the transmission. super solid. Solid as in not a bushing solid. So that is something that I want to change eventually, like I was saying before. So that'll all happen with time and money. Oh, I put washers on this bash bar, so we can jack the car up by the bash bar now. It would just pull the bolts out before. So yeah, we're making a fuckload of progress, and it's been 2 days. But we're at a point where the progress kind of stops because I need parts. So this is gonna be the end for this video. It's a fucking jam-packed one. We got a lot of good shit done. This is fucking nice. So thank you for watching. Preach, dude. At like a consistent 150 viewers every time I post. That's dope. That shit used to be like fucking 25. So the people that are watching, dude, you're sick as fuck. Preach, dude. Big preach. This car's gonna be done soon. Doesn't fucking look like it, but soon, I promise. New paint, lots of work. So stick through. Appreciate you for watching. Adios.